Welcome back to Because We Got High with Rita, Kelly, and Bree. This is episode W, and we have recorded 3 episodes back to back to back this week. We recorded one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, and usually we just do it week by week. So it feels like we're flying by really fast, even though everyone is only listening to this week to week. But as always, and this is the W episode, and the first topic is weed, which is perfect transition. We got weed, witches, and weather. I am not well versed in witches whatsoever, but I know that Kelly Keegs is, so I will be very interested
I am a witch.
in finding out what she has to say about that. But I am well versed in weed, so let's get started with that. Where do we even begin? I feel like people have been, every episode, they're like, because you can really use a letter for any type of weed thing. Like J, we could have done joints.
Yeah.
B, we could have done. Did we do blunts? We did do
boobs, bitches, and did we do?
Yeah,
blunts?
we did blunts. Yes, we did. We did do that.
Was like a little different.
Right. But everyone's like, when are you guys gonna keep talking about weed? So here we are. Wish I was high right now.
Talking about weed.
But what is your guys? Do you even have a specific type of weed that you like sativa, indica?
I am a situational smoker. I will smoke a strain based on what I'm doing, which is something that I never used to do. And when I was younger, like high school, when I was first smoking weed and stuff, I didn't really like it that much because I didn't know what kind of weed was appropriate in what moments. Like I would go to a house party or something and we'd be drinking. There'd be some weed around. I'd be like, yeah, I'll have some of this. And it would be like a dark indica. And I would be like, I can't move. I'm going to die on this couch. I'm never smoking weed again. Mm-hmm. But it was just the wrong kind of weed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, true. How about you?
I like a nice hybrid. Yeah.
Hybrids
go both ways?
Yeah,
Hybrids
go both
fantastic.
ways, yeah. But I like smoking, what is the one that makes you fall asleep? Indica.
Yeah.
That's what I smoke every night.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't care, obviously when I first started smoking in high school.
I didn't even know there was a difference.
Yeah,
when I was
well,
younger.
I would just get weed from my guy friends, and it wasn't like they were telling me what kind of weed it was in any way. It was just like, here's weed.
Whoever gave me free weed was the weed that I smoked.
Yeah, I'll take the weed.
Yeah.
But recently, I've paid attention a lot more, I think because more so with dispensaries, it's very easy to figure out which is sativa, indica.
Tell you everything.
I prefer sativa just because I like to be... I like to be a functional smoker, up and at 'em. But at night, obviously, a nice indica to put you to sleep. When was the first time that you guys smoked weed? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I do. It was...
7th grade.
I was a little older.
That's early.
Yeah, so that is 7th grade is pretty early. I was in 9th grade, and I was driving around in my friend's purple Jeep and sitting in the back seat. And we were just driving around, windows down. I remember being super windy, and I was trying to smoke a bowl for the first time. It was just handed to me, and I wanted it, but there was so much going on that I was fumbling around. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't great with the lighter yet. I was just I don't know, this is crazy. And it was extremely difficult. That's all I remember. But it was great. And then we drove around listening to Lil Wayne.
Oh, classic.
It was really nice.
Nice. I was in the middle of the woods, and it was 5 of my guy friends that were smoking a blunt, and me and my girlfriend walked up, what are you guys doing? And we were so scared. We were whispering to each other, should we do it? Should we smoke it? Should we do it? We took 2 hits each. We didn't even get high. The first time I got high, I almost went to the hospital and thought I was having a heart attack.
Oh my God.
It was the scariest time in my whole entire life. I was I'm never smoking weed again. The first time you guys got high, were you scared shitless?
No.
Mine was such a crazy feeling. I smoked way too much.
I was paranoid for sure. I was more nervous to be caught by the police. And it's in such a typical way. I was oh my God, the police are coming. That kind of shit. I just was, because let's see, what year was that? 2005, I guess. It was weed was not even, you couldn't have weed anywhere. Weed was so taboo. You couldn't even, it could not be around. If you got caught with weed, you went to jail. That's what we were told. So that was I was so worried about getting caught.
Damn. The first time I smoked, I put the whole bowl in my mouth because I had no idea how to do it. And it was with my brother and sister. My parents were away.
What do you mean?
I literally put that whole... Oh my... I just put the whole thing in my mouth and tried lighting it. And they made fun of me so hard.
Well, yeah, they
still
should.
To this day, they make fun of me.
They should make fun of you forever for that.
The first time that I got high, I didn't panic at all. That's why I smoke every day, all day. Since... I was in high school since I was 15 because I just fell in love with it. I don't know. I had no issues with it whatsoever. I used to smoke. Once again, I haven't said this in a little bit. I went to Catholic school, private
Ding,
Catholic
ding,
school
ding,
that
ding.
was
Where's the buzzer?
very,
Bingo
very
card.
strict. And I still would like meet up with like my guy friends before school and smoke and then go into school. And I think back on that time and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like I in 1 second, if they found out, could have been expelled.
Totally
I remember
expelled.
we smoked before school one day and I went in and they were like, all right, assembly day. And that's why we smoked, because we were like, okay, there's an assembly. At the assembly, the guy on stage was like, all right, we're going to do a breathalyzer to a random person like in the audience, like just because it was like one of those type of assemblies, just like drunk driving or something like that, or like driving under the
someone was
influence.
drunk?
And I was like, holy shit, like
my
what is
God.
happening? Obviously, no one's going to pick me. You have to like raise your hand to be volunteered.
Well, also,
So I was like,
breathalyzer
out
is
of
not
gonna
all-
show weed.
No, but just like they were like doing the whole test that happens when you get
You
out
would've
of the
just
car
freaked
and
out.
like
Yeah,
you're driving
yeah.
under the influence.
And
like,
if you're paranoid
if
already,
you're paranoid and then they
you're,
put the
like,
flat,
in
the
front of everybody
flashlight in your
assembly,
eye,
fainted.
you would freak
No,
out.
I would
But
lose my shit.
I always had a great relationship with weed. Starting from when I was 15, I always liked it. Always had a good time, and always made me
lovely.
feel way better. Also, I think just it runs in my family. Like my mom said that she literally almost failed high school, like almost didn't pass because she would just smoke weed every day before school. And then my sister, I remember I was in 7th grade and we were going to drive to Florida the next day. This was at night and I'm on AIM, whatever, just chatting with my buddies. All of a sudden we get a call to our house. It's the cops. They found my sister smoking behind a Burger King with her friends.
Oh,
And the next
No.
day we went to Florida and my dad just played the song Because I Got High in the car for my sister.
That's
See,
awesome.
Yep.
That's really nice. My parents would have kicked me out of the house. I know that for a fact. Still, I
My
am a
mom's
30-year-old
still, yeah.
woman, and my brother is 23. I think he just turned. Yeah. Both of us are graduated college. We both smoke weed. I literally co-host a weed-related podcast, and my mom is still like, absolutely do not smoke in this house. Like, don't let me catch you smoking in this house. My brother has to sneak and do it outside. Like, she knows he does it,
Yeah.
but he like sneaks out to the shed. So much so that my dad built him like a little shelf out there, like a little area, and they're trying to be nice about it. But they're like kind of still not cool with it. Even though also my mom had me like buy her edibles when I was out in California. But they're coming around to it, but they are so brainwashed like their parents that like it's so bad, it's so illegal, like blah blah blah, it's horrible for you. I think it's better for you and safer than alcohol. And no one drinks more
100%,
alcohol
yeah.
than like my family. So
My parents
that's
still act, well, not my dad. My mom still acts like if I smoke weed, I'm going to be doing heroin very soon.
Yes.
She's like, it's a gateway drug.
Gateway drug.
It is so bad for your brain, Brianna. That's
drug.
so bad for you. I'm like, come on. And she calls it marijuana. You smoking marijuana? I'm like, no. Yeah, I am, bitch. I am smoking marijuana.
That's
My mom
why-
also calls it marijuana, but
Yeah.
not in like she's like marijuana. Like she'll
Yeah.
say it
My
like
mom's
that.
Marijuana or pot. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like pot. But that's why I feel so blessed to have my parents in these types of situations, because this morning I slept on Long Island last night, and this morning I smoked a joint outside at 8:30 a.m. while talking to my parents outside, and my mom was smoking a cigarette, and they didn't
There you go.
question it at all. Like they were just like, oh, we're gonna go drop her off at the train. She's smoking a quick joint before we do that. Like no questions at all. I also
amazing.
told my parents about how I did shrooms in California, and then again the other night, and they're like, so what does that do for you? Like they're just intrigued.
See, that's so nice
And they're
that
like,
the-
and I am letting them know. I'm like, look it up. Like there's some benefits to it, and they're just like, all right, as long as you're not doing like the H. That's what they said.
yeah.
They said
are
as
no-
long as
yeah.
you're not doing meth or the H.
I feel like
was
there
no,
won't be any
good.
like studies of benefits coming out about those things.
No,
Like I think
no,
we're all
no.
safe. Like we're
Yeah.
all staying
Yeah.
away. You know what I looked up? I want to show you guys this thing. A couple things. One was the fact that the two states to legalize weed for recreational use first in 2012 were Washington and Colorado. So shout out to those places. 1996 was where they legalized medical weed in California. Very cool. And then I found this map of the United States that shows the like various stages of legalization for marijuana. So throw out a state, and I'll tell you what's going on
Iowa.
with weed. Iowa.
For our boy Trent.
The legal status is mixed. Medicinal is CBD oil only, and it's not decriminalized. So Iowa sucks.
It's crazy. I mean, this goes
Agree?
without saying.
Arizona?
Arizona, it's fully legal, medicinal, and decriminalized.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Let's
Love
go.
that.
Do you want to know where it's not legal? Like, where it's
Yeah.
illegal?
Illegal,
100%? It's illegal in Idaho, Wyoming, which like you got to have it in those places.
need
Kansas,
it.
Tennessee, Alabama, and South Carolina. It's fully illegal. Like not even
what would happen if you
no
got caught?
medical marijuana,
Go to
not
jail,
decriminalized.
prison?
I guess.
I mean, yeah,
That I
you
don't know.
do. You
Isn't that
have to.
insane? There's a lot of places
Doesn't it blow
that
your
it's
mind
fully
that people
legal.
are still fucking in jail for
Yeah,
weed?
that's what I was gonna say. It goes
It's
without
insane.
saying that like nobody should be in jail
It's
for
weed.
weed,
It's
but
weed.
obviously there's just like
Nobody.
that is a whole other conversation. But yeah, obviously nobody should be in jail for weed.
I also found this very old thing. You'll love this. Look at this. It's like a do not smoke weed, smoke of hell, devil's harvest. Because these, it's called like devil's lettuce. And I was wondering, why is it called devil's lettuce? It's because it was like people, they would scare people into not smoking it, being like, oh, witches, and kind of translates to witches. And people and bad people who want to do wrong are like smoking this from the ground. It's like it has to do with the devil, blah blah blah. So they called it devil's lettuce, and then they used this kind of propaganda to like scare people into not smoking it. Like, look, it says sin, degradation, vice, insanity, the truth about marijuana, debauchery, a vicious racket with its arms around your children.
Oh my God.
Crazy! It's crazy, crazy,
Wait,
crazy.
It's literally a plant.
Anti-weed film posters from the 30s and 40s.
That's insane.
And so that's like our parents' parents. And so they grew up seeing this shit and then told our parents, like, don't you fucking, like, never, it's illegal, you'll die, devil's lettuce, whatever. And then now our parents, I feel like at the beginning of our lives probably acted like that. And now they're finally like, all right, well, we didn't have to listen to our parents. Like,
I think that with my mom's parents, my nonno was born in Italy and he came here when he was 27 and he like still barely speaks English. And I don't think he really understood what my mom was doing in
For
high
sure.
school. And then also recently when I smoked with him, because now he loves weed, because when I went to visit him, I brought a bunch of weed and we smoked together. And then now he's always asking me, how can I get it? But he used to tell me that, and I think he was doing something else. He owned a hair salon, and he said they used to have parties where they would drink weed punch. And I was like, are you sure it wasn't
I've had weed
something else?
lemonade.
Because he was like, everyone would drink the weed punch and everyone was dancing. And I was like,
But
that
back then,
sounds
I
kind
feel
of
like that
like...
would have been hard to even make.
that
but
sounds
also
really
it just
hard.
sounds like everyone drank the weed punch and started dancing.
Sounds like Molly water.
Yeah, it sounds like my
You sure
nonna
it
was
wasn't Molly
drinking
in there?
Molly water.
Yeah.
But-
They lied to Nana.
Have you guys ever gotten actually in trouble with like cops while smoking?
No.
My story last episode, but that's it.
Yeah, I got in trouble with a few people from here that we work with. One time we were smoking on the street and some cops pulled up on us. I had it in my hand, the blunt, and I was the only one who didn't get a ticket. I don't know how. I don't know. I was the only one that didn't get a ticket, but then it got decriminalized shortly after that, and then it all went away.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
So there you go. So that it was
So
perfect
basically,
timing.
it was nothing, but it was like
So you got
perfect timing.
the thrill of
Yes.
being in trouble, but no repercussions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of the...
That's ideal situation.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
say.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a good story.
It's
and
like,
nothing
ooh, oh my
bad
God,
comes
like
out
a
of it.
policeman came up on
Right.
me. He was going to arrest me and
What
then he
is it
did
like in other countries with weed? Is it chill?
I think...
Oh,
depends
China,
on-
China apparently, because I've talked to Donnie about it, is like, if you get caught, you're done. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
I know
they-
Colombia.
they'll-
It's like
jail
Abu
for life.
They
Dhabi.
can randomly
Yeah.
just go up to you, take a hair from you, and test your DNA, like test it.
Yeah.
And if you test like you're done.
Yeah,
My
they're
nephew
no bullshit in some
went to
countries.
Colombia a couple
done
weeks
for?
ago, and
You're in
they
jail for a while.
they smoked before the flight. And when they got off the flight, they smelled like weed. And the TSA or whatever it's called in Colombia, they took them when they got off the plane. They took them into a separate room, made them strip naked, take all of their clothes off, search them for weed. They obviously didn't have any because they didn't bring it on the plane, but they smelled like weed. And I guess weed in Colombia, which like you wouldn't think so, but it's like heroin. Like if you get caught with weed, it's like really, really bad. You go to jail. So they got pulled over when they were there and they were smoking and they had to swallow all the blunts.
I feel like someone's told me that
But
before.
coke's cool?
Like how
Yeah.
how
Coke's
bad.
cool in Colombia, but weed's
Literally,
Yes,
weed,
like I think
it's
that's
opposite.
like
Yeah, it's
weed,
crazy.
and it's not because of like because they think it's bad. It's something to do with like the it's like a money thing. Like cocaine in Colombia is kind of like an underground, like they're like the mafia, like they're tied in with the government loose, or not the government, but you know what I mean. Like they're all sketchy over there, and weed takes away from like that market, not those profits. So they don't want like
Median.
So they don't want like other drug profits taking away from like this cocaine that's kind of like keeping the country afloat, low key.
Is cocaine cool in Colombia, or is that just like a thing?
I think it's also I think it's also illegal there.
That's what I was
like it's
gonna say.
not
It
it's not like
doesn't
it's there,
seem
but it's not as you don't like go to jail for life with cocaine in Colombia, but with weed it's like a whole different story.
It's crazy. I was mind blown when
that is
nephew told me
wild.
that. I was like,
also,
what?
that story I just told because somebody told me that story. I don't know if it's totally true, but it sounds kind of true.
Yeah, I
was
think
told that story.
it's very legal in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
Which just, it doesn't really make sense at all.
Amsterdam is awesome.
Yeah, Amsterdam.
I always wanted
wanna
to go to
get to
Amsterdam when I was little because I was
Amsterdam.
like, drugs are sick
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
never-
and like you could do like shrooms there,
Yeah.
just in a bar.
Yeah, that's sick.
I want to get to Amsterdam.
Let's go. Let's
I
make a
really
vlog
would.
out of
I
it.
would
Oh
love
my
to.
God,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean,
I
that's
mean,
perfect.
gotta go to
If you guys went to the
Amsterdam.
red light district, that'd be hilarious.
Oh, I would die
Yeah.
for that. I would
Yeah.
die
Oh,
for
that
it.
would be awesome.
Wow, how fun.
I want to pick up and go right now.
Let's
I need
go.
to continue
too.
recording.
Let's
I want to get to
go.
Amsterdam.
Wow, how fun. You know what I looked up? Somebody left a voicemail. I was going to play it because it's funny because the girl's like coughing the whole time. But she was talking about how she has asthma and she doesn't want to stop smoking weed. She's like, I love smoking weed. I want to smoke weed, but I have asthma. She's like, and I can't really get myself a weed inhaler because like blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
even know that
weed
was a thing.
inhaler? Yes. So I looked it up. There are cannabis inhalers. Are they effective? Following on the heels of more widespread cannabis legalization has come a multitude of ways to consume the versatile plant, like edibles, blah, blah, blah. And it's like similar to inhalers for asthma, but it's a discrete, precise dose of CBD or THC. And apparently you can be prescribed a weed inhaler
That's
and it
sick.
helps you, like it helps control the amount that goes in your mouth so your lungs aren't like, you don't get like an asthma attack, which I think is so
Wild.
interesting.
I've never heard of a weed inhaler.
Never in my life have I
Never.
heard of it. And I'm looking right at it. It's got a little,
No, are you
a little thing.
intrigued?
I am intrigued.
No, has
Yeah.
asthma.
I have,
Oh my God, Noah.
Slight asthma, not like crazy, but
Just
I
like,
used to take a. No, I mean I don't have to get into
It
it.
says CBD and THC dosed precisely in inhalers is believed to help those with lung conditions like asthma or chronic
So it looks like
obstructive
a
pulmonary disease. Yeah, it looks like literally isn't it? It's like an inhaler, literally. Look.
no, you said you have slight asthma, but you're about to take out an inhaler right now.
Yeah, so you got
have
it. You have an
full-on
inhaler on
asthma.
deck.
If you are carrying around an inhaler,
So
you
Noah's. Oh my God.
you have
Noah's
full-on
strapped.
asthma.
I have 3 inhalers with me.
I would say Noah's strapped with
anyone want one?
inhalers and strapped with. Are you strapped with EpiPens as well?
Yeah.
Of course you are. Like he's strapped with all that
strapped.
shit.
You're that kid in school.
I had an inhaler for like a minute. Yeah.
But I didn't
And-
I didn't want anyone to know. I'd never sat at the peanut table because I didn't want people to know.
That's
rather
that's
risk my life.
gangster.
I
I feel like
Respect.
no one
Respect.
needs
Risking
therapy.
his life to be a
I feel
sav.
like no one needs therapy just to process like the bullying that he felt like on the side from people saying
It took
like,
a
making fun of
while,
his peanut
probably
allergy.
not to like. I don't even know if in college where I would like be like, yeah, like at a table, I'm allergic to peanut. Like I would be.
He's so ashamed.
Self-conscious
He's
about it.
so
No, that's really
ashamed.
sad.
Like who shamed you so bad? Did
I
you
mean,
just see
everyone
other
makes
kids
fun of it.
get
It's like a
shamed?
joke. It's like a punchline. Like,
Of course
you're
it's a
allergic to
punchline.
peanuts, like
yeah, it is.
loser.
You're making me feel
Getting
bad.
Say it
You're
all the
making-
time. To
I want to
him.
make fun
No,
of
I
you so
know,
bad, but I
it's-
also feel bad.
No, you can make fun of me.
I joke, but I understand that it's a serious thing. And
course,
if,
yeah.
if somebody that I was friends with was like, "Yo, I got a
on the
peanut
topic
allergy,"
of weed and peanuts, I did have like we were out one time at dinner and I had like a full on like panic attack, like because I was too high.
Oh, was
And
it with
then
you
I-
guys, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
I
I,
heard about
thought
this.
that I was like eating peanuts when I was just eating French fries. Like,
it was honestly terrible to deal with.
oh, they were not helping. They were not helping.
Oh, you thought that they were going to be
They were
helpful?
I would
No,
say-
you know them
Get
better
it
than
together,
that.
like-
I will say it was right after we did the Jonas Brothers interview, and then we were going to the Jonas Brothers. So it was a great day,
Yeah.
and so the vibes were high,
Yeah.
but the vibes were super low on Noah's side of the table, which was obviously concerning. You
Yeah.
know, but it's okay.
It's pretty fucked up that you ruined the vibes with your peanut allergy,
I know,
Noah. How
I know.
could you? After the Jonas Brothers interview, how could you do
Yeah,
that?
all
come
his
on. I had to use an inhaler for a little bit. Did you guys have whooping cough?
Yes, that's why I had an inhaler too. Yeah.
What was that about?
For a little while. I don't
Everyone
remember how
had
long.
whooping cough for a
my
little
brother
bit.
had, my brother had to do, I don't know if you guys had to do, like one of those, the nebulizer thing. Like he had to
had
put
one.
that thing on his face that looked like, it looked like
Loser.
a fish. Yeah. A loser. It's, and forever, like it was so loud and I was was older when he had it. Like he was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 at the time when he had it. And I'm 7 years older. So I remember looking at it being like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Like, I don't know what's happening here. Can he not breathe? Like, is this my brother or what? Like, I don't know.
Crazy.
And now he's fine, totally. But I always wonder why that is. I had the little inhaler, but not ever.
I always
a nebulizer.
wanted an inhaler. I thought they were sick.
They
I
feel
always
kinda
like,
good.
can I
They
try
are.
that?
Yeah.
dude?
It
Let
feels
me
so
try.
good.
They feel great.
Yeah,
You're
I always
testing-
tried
When you
other
said
people's.
just now, does anybody want one? I
you
kind of was
you
like,
could
maybe.
take a hit if you want.
I think I will later.
Take
No
a
joke.
swig. Take a
Should we all
swig.
just hit
Take
the
a sip.
inhaler?
Let me sip your inhaler. Like
Yeah.
I'm sipping your Juul.
Yeah.
I'll hit her Juul and then your inhaler after to counteract.
And your
Yeah,
lungs
yeah.
explode.
Yes. it's
What
gonna
do
be-
you guys
gonna be great.
do when you have like a panic attack from smoking? Like, I feel like everyone has those freakouts. I recently read that black pepper makes you stop. It doesn't. I tried it. It didn't
I was
work.
there when you tried it.
Yeah,
It was ridiculous.
didn't
I
work.
tell myself, this is it. This is it. And I think that I'm going to stop breathing and I just lay there and I think about life because I think this is it. I've thought so many times, you're not waking up from this, Brianna. You're going to die in your sleep because you can't breathe.
Yep.
And then I wake up and I'm like, it's all in your head, man.
Right.
I try to lay on my stomach. If I'm out and I'm smoking and I have a panic attack, I gotta leave. Like it's
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm
can't,
out of there.
I'm not like
Can't be
I just
social.
gotta go home. And usually in that like time where I'm leaving, trying to get home, I'll have calmed down by then because there's like movement, something's happening. But if I haven't, I have to like lay on my stomach and I breathe with my mouth open. I'm like
Yeah.
until it goes away.
The deep breaths after having like a little anxiety after smoking is always, you're just like, oh, everyone always just says to breathe. And you're like,
Do you ever forget
Yeah.
to breathe when you?
yes.
Yes.
And then you're like, I
And you-
forget
yeah.
how to breathe. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
And
Like,
then
you're
you're thinking
sitting
about it.
there.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
about breathing manually, and then all of a sudden you start choking.
Yeah. Or you
And then
laugh
you
so
give,
hard while
like-
you're eating, and then you start choking
yeah.
on your fucking food, and then you're like, and it's
then-
going down. It's not going down. It's so dry.
It ruins
can't-
everything.
Yeah, I can't die high on this choking on this Taco
so
Bell.
embarrassing.
That can't be happening. No, it's having weed anxiety is shitty, and I think that for me, I wasn't smoking weed so much until later in life because that same thing, like I just wasn't smoking the right kind of weed. Also, probably shitty weed. I feel like when you grow up, you are smoking shitty weed. Whoever is like, you couldn't.
I was smoking shitty.
It
weed,
wasn't
yeah.
legal for so long, and you couldn't get your hands on medical marijuana so easily. You were just smoking whatever the fuck you could get from your random drug dealer, and a lot of that time,
Growing it in their
just was
closet.
bad weed, and you would get anxiety, and you'd feel like shit. And so for so long, that was the case.
I gotta
And
be
then-
honest. I think the weed that I was getting when I was younger was way better than the
Was-
weed I'm getting now. Or
Really?
maybe just because my tolerance has gone way up, so I would get really, really. Those were the best of times when you would get so high with your friends that you couldn't stop laughing, and you
Yes.
were just for hours. You were so high. Now
So
it's like
fun.
I'm high for like 15 minutes, and
Yeah,
then it
and
goes
it's
away.
not
and then
ever
I'm
the
like,
same.
No, it's never the same. But my sister still gets weed from the guy that I would get weed from in high school. And that shit
Really? Isn't it
laced, you
slaps.
said?
Yeah, but I also
What
think it
is
might
he?
be laced.
What kind? Like, what is he? Oh, maybe it is. Yeah. What
He's
is
a drug
his-
dealer.
I mean, yeah, but is he like a? Is he like a businessman now, or is
I have no
he was
idea.
just-
I
he
don't want to
just
know
stayed
anything
a
about
drug
his
dealer?
life.
Well, whatever. Good for him. I think that like that's nice. I think that now weed is so much better, and it's also more controlled. Like you can go into a dispensary, or if you haven't been able to go to a dispensary, I feel really bad for you. You got to get yourself to one. Like
They're so
go to a
cool.
place where there are ones. Like you got to at least experience that.
All
because
the
it's-
workers are so chill.
they're all so high. Like
Yeah.
honestly though, last time I went to one, the girl was too high and she was annoying the shit out of me. I was like, all right, I get it. Like you're at a weed spot and whatever, but
Yeah.
I need your help right now.
You're
Like,
a
I
work-
need you
you
to
work.
ring up my shit and I need you to like, take my money. You're too high for this right now.
I actually do think that the weed you get from a dispensary is obviously better. Like
Yeah.
when I get less anxiety, I would say, when I get weed from like California or when you get it from the place at like
MedMen, yeah.
I always think that I have way less anxiety. It's just like more of like a calm high. Like
Yeah.
I'm actually high.
Mm-hmm.
I
Shout
will
out
say,
Seth Rogen.
yeah, I tried Seth Rogen's weed
Oh, yeah, I didn't get to-
recently in California, and it was fucking awesome. Like, it sounds so cheesy because you're like, of course, Seth Rogen's weed is awesome, and it's just weed, but it actually made everyone feel really good. Like,
Really?
Fran, who doesn't smoke often, she smoked a little bit of it, and she was like, wow, I felt great. Everybody was sitting around laughing hysterically. Like, it was like that high that I was talking about when you're younger and you smoke and everyone just can't stop laughing. It was like that, and it was great. It's the pancake ice sativa
Ooh.
one
Although
was
the
one we got.
packaging was
The packaging was a 0 out of 10. It
Whoa.
looks cool, but it's impossible to open.
What
Impossible.
kind of?
What is it?
I can't even describe it. It's impossible to open. It's like one of those things that you need to push down to then, like.
Yeah.
Oh, I
But
hate
but it won't.
those.
But
Even if you push down,
and you'll
it doesn't
see it and you'll
work.
be like, oh no, I could get it. But then you literally can't
Yeah.
open it.
We
How'd
were
you
giving it
guys
to
get it?
everybody to
There's
be like, you
one
have to
kid
like
with us
try.
who
God.
could get it somehow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it was
What,
it was
the
wild.
worst.
Is that maybe they do it like that so it's kind of airtight when it's not open?
Probably because it's just.
Probably for good
Just
reason.
so it is airtight.
It just nugs in there, like they're
Right,
not like a bag
yeah.
or anything, just nugs in this
Yeah.
thing.
Right,
So
so
I
it's probably for a
understand,
reason, but
but
that
it's
sucks, yeah.
impossible to open.
That's really annoying.
Impossible,
Is
but
it at
great
least
weed.
cool
Cool
looking packaging?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks cool, but at what price?
At what cost?
Yeah, at
Yeah.
what
What
cost?
cost?
The dispensary weed, it kind of like you said, it takes away. Like you can go into a dispensary and you can be like, listen, I like get anxiety. I do this. I do that. You tell them your whole deal. Tell them your like past with weed, like how bad experiences that you've had, and they'll know what will be good for you or what you will like.
Yeah.
Legitimately, like they know what they're talking about. They really understand. And so you get something and you go home and you're like, wow, okay, this is perfect for me. Like I feel great. I don't feel like I'm like spinning off into space. I don't feel like I'm going to throw up. I feel fantastic. And whatever. I think it's just such a good experience, such a place to go. I love it. I love dispensaries so much.
Yeah.
I have a medical marijuana license. I like to brag about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
it's basic.
it's a fun thing I like to brag about. I got it from this like random website. It wasn't sketchy. I'm trying to decide if I want to say the website because I can't.
don't say it.
I'm not going to say it because I don't know. It's a very legitimate thing. Like I talked to a doctor
Yeah.
via Zoom, and he like kind of like. I said, I was like, yeah, I want this, whatever. He's like, oh, so what's your condition? And I was like, well, anxiety and this and that. And he was like, all right, and then what else? And kind of
Oh my
like
God, it's
coaxed
literally that
me
scene from
into.
Entourage.
Yeah.
Yes,
And he like coaxed me into, and I ended up being like, oh, I've also had
all he
like,
wanted was the hat.
yeah. At the time, I had just had my like heart thing, so I was like, also I just was like having a heart thing, and he was like, bingo, perfect, and he was kind of like fishing for something,
Yeah.
and then gave it to me, and now every year I can renew it, and it's fantastic. But what sucks is in New York you can only go to the dispensaries, but in New York, not everything is legal. Like it's not a fun dispensary like in California where there's like treats and cookies and whatever the fuck you
Yeah, the
want
one in
and
Boston's
teas and blah blah
fun.
blah. It's more. It looks like an Apple store kind of, and you go in and it's very like everything's in the back. You can't touch it. You can't see it. You got to ask for it or order it ahead of time. It's like a little more controlled. But I think now that things are kind of opening up a little bit more, I think that it'll become a lot more fun. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna save my weed card probably forever, like as like a
Right.
commemorative thing.
I was saying I got to get one, but I don't think I need one anymore.
I don't think so
'Cause
either.
I think
No,
it's,
Yeah.
I think it's
coming.
legal now.
Right? It's not a
Yeah,
not a big
I
deal.
don't think I'm gonna need that
It took
card.
like a year and a half to get dispensaries though when it was legalized in Boston.
Yeah, I think it's
true.
gonna take
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah. It took
but-
like actually like 2 years. Yeah.
They're already building one. I told you this on 14th Street. I walked by.
That'd be sick.
I was walking by and I had gone. I live kind of near there, and I saw for a long time like scaffolding and like all this stuff covering up something, and it was there for a long time. So I noticed like, what the fuck is that going to be? The day that they announced that weed would be legal in New York, I happened to walk by that same thing. All of it was down, and it was like a new like a wrap on the wall, and it said like coming soon, like cannabis something
Let's
dispensary,
go.
and I was like, fuck yes. So I have a feeling
Awesome.
that the
I think
minute they're allowed to open
they're
it,
gonna get a move on that.
no,
quick.
they are.
have
They
to.
100%
They will get a move
are. I
on
was
that
shocked
quick.
to see that. So it was fantastic. I have one last question for you guys. Somebody kind of said something about this. Do you think that if you don't know what it feels like to be high, or you don't know anything about weed, do you think that you can have a negative opinion on it, like how our parents are like, it's the devil's lettuce,
Yes.
it's this, it's that? Do you think that you have like the right to have an opinion on it if you don't know what it's like yourself?
You have the right to have an opinion.
Everyone
but,
has
like,
the right to have an opinion, but
But you've never tried it. You don't know how it feels. You can't tell someone how it feels if you don't know how it
right,
feels.
like when
Yeah.
it's a bad drug.
when
Never smoked
if
it.
somebody like, for me, weed helps my stomach a lot. I have a lot of stomach issues, but when I smoke, my stomach doesn't hurt, and that really helps me. And for a little bit, people, I feel like, would be like, okay, liar. Like, of course I do love to just smoke weed because I like to
Yeah.
get high, but it also does actually help me.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can't tell somebody, no, it doesn't help you if you don't know.
Exactly.
I agree completely. Somebody had a voicemail about that, kind of a little whatchamacallit, like a little angrier about it, being like, oh, like what the hell, blah blah blah. And I thought it was an interesting question. I was like, yeah, that is true, because I think about sometimes my parents, and I know that they have smoked weed in their lives, but not that much, and for them to be like so mad about it and so this and so that, I'm like, why? Like, you don't even know. Like, and I kind of get a little buck about it sometimes.
Right.
So
I think
wonder
if
your
I
thoughts.
dealt with that more, I'd probably feel a little bit more.
Yeah, probably.
But I think this is a perfect time to transition into our next W, witches. But before we do that,
All right, listen. After all of the conversations that we had last week about the vagina, we're talking a little bit about, like, is the bush back? Is the bush not back?
Yes.
It's not just ladies that are
No,
dealing
it's
with
not.
all kinds of hair all over the place. Men are dealing with it too.
There's
And we
bushes.
have to deal with men. So I know that we're wanting to kind of go into this and be like, listen, I don't want you looking like some crazy unkempt animal. You
I
don't
mean, there's
need to
nothing worse
be-
than hairy balls.
Nothing is worse than hairy balls. Thank you, Brianna. Nothing is worse than hairy balls. Nothing is
Hanging
worse
out
than,
of boxers.
than like a hairy chest where you're trying to lay on someone's chest. I like a little chest hair, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
If you have a lot of chest hair, that's fine. If it's unruly to the fact that I can barely breathe and I'm trying to lay on
in
your
my
chest,
eyes?
you gotta clean that
Yeah.
up. You have to clean that up. Thankfully, Manscaped is here. Manscaped is here to help the man in your life look his best, just to trim it up, make it look good, make it look
Groom
nice.
yourself.
Groom
Groom
yourself.
yourself, yeah.
Literally, Manscaped. It's landscaping for your body. Landscape your hair all over the place.
Manscaped.
Your Father's Day's coming up. You got your dads are hairy as fuck.
Hairy backs.
Your husbands are probably definitely hairy. They're definitely gross. You probably have kids. Don't let your kids die of embarrassment because your husband is hairy and he is unkempt. Get yourself to manscaped.com. You can get 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code because you need to get the men in your life. You need to help them out, ladies.
need
Come
to.
on.
You
You
need
need to
to.
help them out. And also, any of the men that are listening, if you don't have a lady in your life that can help you out, help yourself. Do it. Manscaped.com. Use promo code because to get 20% off.
Hell yeah.
all right, Kelly, tell us about witches. I really
All right.
know.
I have no idea.
I
was a witch every year for Halloween for 9 years in a row. So I
that.
love witches, but I know nothing
Every
about
year?
them. Every year, 9 years in a row.
Same costume or different?
Well, I kept growing, so I had to keep getting new ones.
Right,
but I was
different
like,
variations.
Mom, Dad, I want to be a witch again. They were like,
You
are you
just-
serious?
You were just dedicated to the
I was
witch game.
dedicated to the witch game. And then the one year that broke it, I was a milk carton. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't want it to be anything else. Like if you were like, I broke it to be like a devil.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah,
oh, you
yeah.
should've
I
gone
was
with
a
the
milk
witch.
carton.
Milk carton.
Giant milk
Worth
carton,
it.
and it was like a missing persons thing, and my face was the missing face on the milk carton.
That's genius.
Really funny.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really,
Better
really
than the
funny.
witch
Wow.
costume.
Better than the witch.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah.
better
I
than the witch
upgraded.
costume. Way better than the witch costume. Yeah, witches are hot in the streets these days, ladies. Like they've always been kind of relevant, and I feel like based on what I was looking at last night, and based on what I've been looking at for the past like year and a half, it seems like witchcraft has permeated pop culture in a way that people it's like mainstream. Like it's almost like a hobby to have. And
Yeah.
like
I see it on TikTok
witchcraft,
a lot.
quote unquote witchcraft, like
Yeah.
not real shit, like not the real. People are really intense about it. People see it as a religion. People see it as like a way of life. And those people, I like never want to offend them because you never know. And so I'm always like, oh, I dance around what I'm talking about when I say that. But to the people who are just kind of posers about it,
Yeah.
those are that I think is fun and interesting and just like something cool to believe in and cool to like deal with. But
didn't
I
know
wanted to ask you,
witches
Brie.
were religion.
Yeah, witchcraft is like
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
sick.
paganism.
I mean,
or
yeah,
pagans.
if you can believe in God, why can't you believe in witches?
It's called paganism. And but I wanted to ask you, Brie, because you grew up in Massachusetts. Was it like witch heavy? In Massachusetts.
Oh yeah, we learned about it in school, like
Yeah.
from early on. I think it was, and I went to a Catholic school, and and we we talked about the
That can't be true. That can't be true. Only Maria has gone to a Catholic school.
I just don't believe that.
whatever. But we talked about it like in Catholic school. We talked about the Salem witch trials. It was talked about every year when Halloween came up. That's like all we would talk about. And what is going on down there? And
Cut that out. It was driving me nuts.
everyone would always go to Salem for like October, and everyone's like actually scared of going to Salem because there's like real witches there. Everyone says so.
Listen to how fucked up this is. So I hadn't looked up the Salem witch trials information in a while. Like I just, we also learned about it in school. I've seen Hocus Pocus,
Yeah.
shit like that, whatever. It's so much more fucked up than I actually thought. Like it's
Fucked up.
If it was on a larger scale, it would be genocide. Like it was, you know what I mean? Like it was horrible. So between 1962 and 1963, that was when the Salem witch trials were happening, which feels like an actual billion years ago. 1692, like what the fuck? So In the United States, for Salem specifically, there were about 200 people accused of witchcraft. And the people who were accused of witchcraft were, a lot of them were, whatever they're called, midwives, like women who would help other women give birth. And a lot of them were nurses and people that would help with medical remedies, like things like that. They were like, how is this possible? You're a witch. And then people started getting like crazy about it. And so if somebody like was looking at you shifty, you'd be like, what are you looking at me like that for? Like, you're a witch. What the fuck? And so it was like 200 people were accused, 30 people were tried, 19 people were hanged. And that's in Salem alone. In Europe, over 110,000 people, Europe, were accused, let's say, between 40 and 60,000 people were executed in Europe for witchcraft.
It's crazy.
For being a witch?
For being a witch.
And
for
you could
being
be
a
like-
witch. And
there were
some of them
people
are like,
that-
maybe they were witches, maybe they weren't, maybe they practiced paganism. Like they weren't, it wasn't
But
like.
you could get called out for reasons that like aren't even like,
They're
you could
not
be
even
like a mistress or doing something that's like against like the commandments or something, and it's like, you're a witch, and then you're tried and you're
Yes.
hung.
And is being, because witches are always associated with being like evil.
Yes,
but
I looked
feel
that
like
up, too.
Witches don't want to be considered evil.
Some
Yeah, I
people
don't know.
think.
Maybe there are evil witches, but I feel like there are obviously
witches?
good witches.
Yeah.
I took
Like
this.
from
Wait, let
Wizard
me
of
find
Oz.
it. So the witchcraft definition is the practice of magic, especially black magic, the use of spells, which doesn't make sense about especially. Like I thought that was strange. So I looked up black magic, and black magic is magic
Bad.
involving the supposed invocation of evil spirits for evil purposes. So even the definition on Google of like witchcraft, it tells you that it's for evil purposes, which it's not. Maybe there are people. I thought of it this last night in this way. There are human beings and there are also murderers. That doesn't mean all human beings are murderers. How is it that there are witches and there can be bad witches, but automatically all witches are bad? Like, they all practice black magic. They all are trying to be evil.
Yeah.
That's not true. You know what I mean? Feels ridiculous to me. So I thought that was really interesting. And I don't understand why. Like, I guess the stigma came from like suspicion and paranoia and whatever, and it just kind of stuck forever. And I guess the fact that it's kind of like an unknown situation of, can you do magic? Can you do not? Or can you not? Do spells really work? Do incantations work? All of these things. The unknown makes people worried about like getting exposed or getting their lives turned upside down or getting hurt or their families hurt, whatever. So people, it's fear that drives like all this prejudice. And to be honest, it's technically religious prejudice if you think about it, because it's a religion.
It is.
So it's kind of wild. Did you guys ever see The Crucible with Winona Ryder? It's free on YouTube, by the way. I watched it yesterday. I watched bits and pieces. I fell
Or I
asleep.
read it. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, well, reading it. We had to read it in school, I guess. Did you guys read it at all? Do you remember? I remember
watched
reading it and
some
being
witch
obsessed.
movie that I don't know what it was. Was there like a Netflix something or a movie that came out that was about witches that everyone was watching? Or was those my dreams?
Twitches?
Not,
Well, no, not that.
not with,
I mean,
like-
not that.
Not with Anne Hathaway, right? The one with Anne Hathaway. That's kind of recent.
I don't
within the
remember.
past year.
I don't know, something crazy. Me and Grace had ourselves convinced 2 or 3 weeks ago that we had a black magic spell casted on us.
shit.
Far that we went online and found out how to get rid of black magic. We ordered 3 magic like bead things that are supposed to get rid of black magic, and we hung them on our keychain, and every time we left the house we would touch it, and every time we came in we would touch it, because we were convinced there was a black magic spell on us. And we couldn't
Honestly?
stop saying black magic. Like
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
word vomit. We would go black magic, black magic, black magic. And we're like, stop saying it. And it would just come out. It was so scary. And then
you got rid of it?
horrible things kept happening to us. And I think it's gone
What
now.
kind of horrible things, though?
Um,
Like, just an inconvenience at the
no.
store?
Well, I
or-
don't want to put it on the
Oh, okay,
podcast.
okay.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that being a witch is a learned skill, or you're like born with it? That's something that is unclear everywhere. And I don't know.
I think it's kind of like psychics and mediums
feeling.
and that thing. And if you are an intuitive person and you have that, some people are more gifted than others in that field, but it really depends if you practice the craft. Like, you got to put in the work. It's not just going to snap your fingers and you're going to know how to do it. Like, people have the gift. They just have to, like, use it often to figure it out.
I agree with that. I found this article yesterday on like a parent's website, and I was so excited. It's called "My Teen is into Witchcraft and Tarot Cards. Should I be worried?" Literally written January 2021. Hysterical.
God.
Talking about TikTok and baby witches and blah, blah, blah. And on TikTok especially, it's very, my first
much.
like full-time blog that I wrote here was about witch talk. And I was like, just about all the people on there, how you can tell the difference between like who's legitimate and who's like making spells, and then who's just like, I'm a witch and I painted my nails black. You know what I mean? You can tell the difference. But what I thought was interesting is they interviewed a mom, and it says a friend of mine chimed in last week and said, anyone who has a teen doing this shouldn't be worried. When we were young, it was Dungeons and Dragons. People could spend hours getting lost in the elaborate fantasy game. I don't see it as much different, which I think that it is definitely different, but that's a good way to look at it. It's nice that some people are looking at it like that. It also said somewhere in there that witchcraft is kind of coming forward as like girls want to be witches or whatever because they are feminists, and so it has like a feminist angle of like power and like powerful women and power, like, you see all of the anti-men, hate men, blah 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 about witches, but there's also like I am strong, I'm a woman, I'm independent, so people kind of latch onto that, and it's like a form of feminism now, people are saying.
That's crazy. Which is,
isn't that crazy? Yeah,
feminism.
I think it's so nuts. I really do. I heard that and I was like, damn, I love that.
Yeah.
I also watched, I highly suggest you both watch it, the old movie Witches of Eastwick. I've been talking about it for weeks. It's got Cher, Michelle Pfeiffer, Susan Sarandon, and Jack Nicholson, and it is and they're all really young. It's so good.
Star-studded cast.
Star-studded, absolutely, and it's a fantastic
which
movie.
movie I watched. I gotta look it up.
I
But
can't
yeah,
stop
I don't
thinking
know.
about that video, the viral video where the guy's like, the Wicked Witch of the East. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Wicked
so
Witch of the
funny.
East, bro.
Yeah.
And what was her sister?
Yeah.
The Wicked Witch of the
Such
West.
a good video.
Grow up. I've seen that video so many times. Also, apparently witch hunts were happening as early as the 1300s in Europe. Imagine.
That doesn't even feel like
A real year.
that it just doesn't feel real at all that
No.
the 1300s existed.
I totally agree.
Kind of
The
scary.
1600s.
It's
I was
really
like, that
selfish
doesn't
to
exist.
think we are the only life only existed when we were alive.
I know. It's nuts.
But I can't even wrap my head around the 1300s.
Imagine being in that time. Like I was thinking about this again yesterday. Not even this far back as the 1300s. Imagine being like in Salem, 1692, and you're sitting around and you're like good at science. You understand how to like, alleviate pain for some people. You know how to birth a baby without killing somebody. And somebody comes up to you and is like, you can do that shit? You're a fucking witch. Get on the stake. Like we're burning your
Seems
ass.
like jealousy to me.
Seems like big time jealousy.
I think that.
Are you threatened by a powerful woman? I'm so sorry.
I think that's what it was. I think that people are just jealous of witches.
100%.
Or
Intimidated.
People are scared of the unknown.
That too.
Scared of the unknown is a big thing.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, most of these. That's what they were saying. Most of these executions and everything were based on like fear and paranoia. Like they'd accuse one person of witchcraft, and all of a sudden everyone was around, and then happened in Salem. 19 people hanged. That is in America. Like that's. I mean, it was still technically like England at the time, but what the fuck?
That is so bizarre.
Crazy.
So many. And the Europe one, like thousands, tens of
Isn't that
thousands of people
nuts?
being hung because they're witches.
I feel like we need
Seems
to
like a movie.
do more research about Europe. Like I feel like I am
I
not
know.
thinking because Europe was there first,
Yeah.
and I feel like I don't know enough about like European history, about shit that I am interested in at the United States. Like I'll be like, oh, like witchcraft. Like, oh, I'm so interested in this. I know the whole story. I know about the Salem witch trials. I don't know shit about witches in Europe. I feel like I got to really dive into that.
Sometimes I realize that I didn't pay attention to a single thing in school.
Yeah,
Not even a little bit.
so little.
So little.
Or even I did, but I don't remember anything.
I didn't, and I don't remember anything, and it's sad. All the time I'm like, somebody will say something just about history in general, and in my head I'm like, oh, didn't know that. Now I
had
do.
to take history in
and
college.
I won't
Yes.
even
So bad.
I won't even admit that I didn't know what somebody's talking about, but now that they said it, I'm like, all right, that's another fact in my head that I
Yeah.
know about history.
I do that all the time with history. How is it that everybody knows about history? Like, and not even just
Everybody
like,
knows everything.
Not even just history of like cool shit. Like I said, witchcraft, whatever. Greek mythology, I love. That I paid attention to just because it felt like
remember
magic
any
to
of
me.
that.
But like people are dropping names of generals in world
Yes,
wars.
yes.
And I'm like, how the fuck do you know
Yes,
that?
that's-
Like,
that's
how
where
did you
I
retain that
struggle.
information?
I
That's
think
what
it depends on like my school forced you to memorize those names and like memorize shit like
We
that.
did
I
for
think it
tests,
just
but
We did
depends.
it
too,
went
yeah,
all
for
out
tests,
the window.
but-
In
after
college too, for gen classes, like I had to take 3 history classes every
What?
year for fucking. I was biochem.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't think
to
I
graduate,
took a history
I needed
class
to.
in
It
college.
was wild. Everyone did, and it was like the crazy, like long time ago history that was so boring, and it was like such hard tests every week. So you like had to memorize
everything. Yeah. So you know you were like kind of a history buff, like a light
I mean,
or more than the average bitch probably.
Probably just because
Who
of
knows
college.
nothing else too.
Yeah.
That's wild.
The only reason I liked history class was because it was the only class that you knew they were just going to put notes up on the board and you were just going to write it down in your notebook the entire
It's so
class.
true. So
the
true.
entire class.
Yep.
Next slide, write it down. Next slide, write it down. That's it. That's all you did. So you knew that it was just
It was
All
just a
you could do
memory
is
game.
memorize
Yeah,
it.
just a
Yeah.
memory-
All you
yeah.
could do is memorize it. Did you guys ever have though, or see those like, what's the show? Drunk History, where they
great
they
show.
kind of it's a great show where they talk about it. They like get drunk and they talk about it, but they tell it almost like a story, which I wish that some teachers would have done if they had talked about history as if it was like an exciting, interesting story. Like I understand that a lot of history is pretty boring, but if you try to like paint a picture for people, they want to learn about it. Like that's what happened with me in Greek mythology. My English teacher, we all did like popcorn reading of the Odyssey and we got really into it. And he told us to like use our, like use voices, get into this, do that, do that. And it was so much fun that to this day I'm like obsessed with Greek mythology for no reason. Like there's, I can never use it, but it was so interesting to me. And I always like wonder why don't more teachers do that? I feel like that's a good idea.
or it was just the fact that specific subject was super interesting to you and the other ones weren't.
Well, but then why
maybe they
weren't
weren't
we? I think it would have been so interesting if we did like a reenactment or something, or taken
I
to a
think it really
reenactment. They
depends
have
on the
that shit all
teacher.
over the place.
If your teacher makes you like it, then you like it.
Right.
Totally
Like
agree.
my English teachers were always the best because they were like cool, and then I liked English. But
A
then
lot of
math
history
is
teachers are
like,
just-
you suck. Pull your pants down; they're up to your nipples.
Every math teacher
Remember my
sucks.
fucking math teacher? He's
Every
such a
math
fucking
dick.
hate
teacher
math
sucks.
teachers, and I feel bad math teachers listening. Like you're the worst, probably.
I had a couple cool. When I went to special needs math, she was
Or maybe
chill.
you're cool, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're probably cool, but as a teacher, you're the worst. Like
'Cause
your kids
nobody
hate you
likes
for sure.
math.
No one likes math. It's so hard.
or some people like math if they're really good at it.
It's because they're smart.
Also, the kids who were really good at math were so bad at everything else.
so bad at everything else.
So
Socially awkward.
It's
also,
so
They
weird.
did-
Like you're just good at one or the other, math or English.
yeah.
It's like, come on, why?
It's left brain, right brain.
yeah. It's weird.
Like you're good at like math and science. Even the math and science translation doesn't always go well because science has a little bit of like
Science is the hardest,
subjectivity to
personally.
it.
science has a little pizzazz.
Yeah, for sure. I like
Chem's so
science
hard.
class.
Chemistry was the hardest class ever.
I'm gonna have a stroke thinking
Organic
about chemistry.
chem, college. I mean, that's just if you ever want to actually want to drop out, take that class and you will.
Yeah, I think
I
chemistry.
took the easiest shit in college. Like, well, not the easiest shit. I was a marketing major, communications minor, so it was like English class every day, and it was great. But the first
I
year
had a
when
lot
you had
of
to
easy
take
classes
like
in college too. Yeah.
you had to take like what are they called? You're like general electives.
Gen eds, yeah.
Gen eds, yeah. And I had math. I had to take a religion class because I went to like a Methodist school. I'm not
I had
that,
to take
but I just
religion
had to do
too.
it. Religion.
We read Harry Potter in my religion class.
Oh, what the fuck? That's so
Yeah,
fun.
it was kinda-
No, mine
it
was
was
like this
kinda
old ass
cool.
man.
My
We read
teacher
the
was
New
cool.
Testament the whole time.
Yeah, read the Bible.
I think that was it.
Epidemiology, the hardest class in the fucking world. Never take it unless you have to.
Oh my god, that sounds awful.
Sounds like you took a lot of hard classes.
Yeah, well, I was a science major.
Yeah. Oh, tough. Well,
Yeah.
while we're on the topic of science, I feel like we can move into weather.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Move right into
Slide
weather.
right into
Weather's kind
weather.
of fascinating.
It is. But before we do
Extremely.
that,
Okay, you guys want to know something that I wasn't prepared for and that I didn't know? New York City summers and how hot they are. I've been walking around and wanting to die. I feel so dehydrated. I literally feel like I'm going to pass out if I walk out on the street for more than 10 minutes. It's like not healthy. But what can help me with that is Liquid IV, and that's what I've been chugging because Liquid IV, it's not just for hangovers. You can use it for hangovers too, but it's also just to make you feel replenished, make you feel hydrated. You can use it after you work out. You could use it when you're just feeling a little thirsty, okay? Because one packet of Liquid IV, 2 to 3 water bottles.
The
2 to 3
liquid
water
IV
bottles.
is truly life changing.
my mom is
always
obsessed
have
with
it.
Liquid IV.
Everyone that I've told
at
about
all
it
times in my house.
Stacks in the house.
Yes,
Stacks,
same.
because you can stack up at Costco. Because
fantastic.
Costco has the bulk. And you want bulks of this shit because once you try it once, you're never going to want to go back. You're never going to want to go back to stupid water, plain old water.
Nah.
So you can grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code HIGH at checkout. That's 25% off of anything you order when you get better hydration today using promo code HIGH at liquidiv.com.
Weather is extremely fascinating
Yeah, it
because I
is.
feel like scientists and other people know how weather works, but everyone else just goes about their day every day being like, oh, it's gonna rain. Oh, it's sunny. Oh, it's cloudy. But there's so much science to it that nobody really even tries to pay attention to.
You know what traumatized me and made me interesting in weather was the Universal Twister ride.
Yes.
My dad brought me to it when I was so young with the Jaws one, and I was like, this is crazy. Weather is crazy, and I'm gonna fucking die from it.
You're speaking my language, Brie. I've been talking about this fucking Twister ride for 2 weeks now.
I think it's gone.
No, it's still there.
No. The Jaws ride is gone.
Jaws ride is modified. It's like not totally, or it might be gone now. Last time I went, I'm trying to think when I went. Like maybe 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, I've just heard that
it was
it's
still
gone.
there, but it's the literal Jaws shark is like it's like a hazard, so they had to redo it or something because it was old and like animatronic or whatever.
Twister and then Earthquake. They had Twister and then the other one was Earthquake with the fire coming out
on
the
the
train.
Yes.
That
amazing.
shit fucked
Get me to
up.
Universal. Seriously, why would you even bring that up? You know I've been
I know.
wanting
Why
to
I want to go to Universal too?
I know you're talking about with the weather and everything.
Yeah.
And the water would come on the train, and it was like
Yes.
so
Don't
scary.
you feel like as a kid you worried so much about tornadoes?
Every fucking day, and I
All
lived
the time.
in Massachusetts, and I thought I was going to die from a hurricane every day.
all the time. I was like, what if a
know-
tornado swallows me up?
Hurricane Katrina ruined my life because I was like,
Hurricane's
that's
crazy.
coming to kill me.
I like in my head at the time, I don't remember it anymore, but I remember memorizing Tornado Alley and thinking like I can never live there. Like you know where they have like this is Tornado Alley. It's like the states right in the middle. I was like I'll never live in any of those states because it's Tornado Alley. Could
Everyone
never
was
live there.
so affected by that when they were
I have
younger.
no idea because
So
it's
there are so
horrifying.
many things that people were affected by when you were younger.
Quicksand.
Tornadoes, quicksand, the Bermuda Triangle.
Quicksand. I
talk
All
about the
these-
Bermuda Triangle
all
all the
these
time.
things that just don't
Quicksand
like unless
was a
you're
real fear.
Right.
Real fear. I call this office the Bermuda Triangle. When I come in here, it's like I come in here and I forget what's going on, and then I get like spit back out a week later, and I'm like, Puh, it was just a week went by. What the fuck happened? Like that's how I feel when I come here.
I feel like that's just work in general.
I think so. Too.
Yeah.
If you were to show up to any or school when you were younger, it's like, oh, another week just went by.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The movie Twister. My friend tweeted the other day. Such a weird coincidence. She said that she thinks the most erotic scene in movie history is when they're both holding on to the light post together as like the tornado is swirling around them, like the fear, and then they're together. I was like, that's the truest shit I've ever heard.
What about what is it? Sharknado?
Sharknado. Oh my
That's
god.
so ridiculous.
With whatever. Oh, you know what? Combining a couple episodes, universe and when we were talking about the ocean or whatever, the moon controls the ocean. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah,
The moon like controls the waves.
it's crazy.
That makes no
is
sense to me.
tsunami considered weather? No, 'cause
I was
it-
I was trying to look it up. I put
That's
down
volcanic,
earthquake
right?
and tsunami.
But those are
tsunamis
the
only
tectonic
happen.
plates,
Yeah,
right?
the
Yeah.
tectonic plates shifting are earthquakes and tsunamis. But usually a tsunami will happen after an earthquake because the tectonic plates will shift. The earthquake will happen,
Ripple, yeah.
and because of that, it like fucks up the ocean, and the
Yeah.
water goes out, and then it comes back in as a tsunami.
Yeah, so it's not weather.
Yeah, I guess not technically. It's a natural disaster is
Yeah,
like what it
natural
what it falls
disaster.
under. But also hurricanes fall under natural disaster sometimes. So depending on how bad they
Yeah.
are, like Katrina, I think was considered a natural disaster as well.
I just remember hearing about that, and then like watching the Ellen Show and being like, "What's gonna happen to me?"
It's
Yeah.
so insane.
scary.
Have
Destroyed
you guys
so many lives.
Have you guys heard the expression "red sky at night" means surfers
Sailors.
delight, red
Oh, I thought
sky
it
in
was
the
sailors
morning?
delight.
Well, sailors too. Yeah, it could be either or. Red sky in the morning, surfers take warning.
Yeah.
No.
That's the thing. So if
I
you,
always
if
base
you-
the weather off of that. Like if
Yeah.
it's bright, then it will be hot out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I think is so interesting. Do you guys check the weather every day before you leave the house?
No,
I do, too.
I have to start doing that because there comes a certain point in the year where I just drop jackets. I just say, hey, I'm not wearing jackets anymore. And then I walk outside and I'm like, oh, I'm cold.
Well, it's cold
Yeah.
like Monday. I don't know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
day it
And I
is.
didn't
It
wear a
was like
jacket.
60 degrees on Monday.
Yeah.
Didn't even
And now
have
it's
a
90.
little sweater. I
It's
just
gonna be
walked
cold
out
again this week. And
bare. And
Yeah.
I got to start checking the weather more.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna
absolutely.
keep one jacket.
I check it all the time. I check it like by the hour. Like I don't check it every hour, but I will check it.
I check it way
when I
more
wake
than I
up.
should.
Yeah,
And
I check when I wake
other
up.
states.
Same. I have.
Do you see this?
Should we go
I
through
have
all
so
our
Yes,
many,
states?
I will.
yes.
Let's all list our because I have the same thing, and I was about to ask you guys if you do it too. All
All right.
The randomest.
right,
Okay.
Rhea, you go first.
I got.
I have so many.
Everyone has Santa Clara, right? Like that's where everyone's is. Mine is always based there.
Cupertino, I think is what it's supposed to be, but no, I don't have
Oh,
Santa
mine
Clara.
is always based on that. Every
That's so
phone I've
weird.
ever had.
No.
I got my location now, which is New York,
Mm-hmm.
West Palm Beach, Seaford, which is where I'm from on Long Island, Situate, New York, again, Boston, Aruba, Los Angeles, Florida Keys,
Hell yeah.
Miami, Nassau, Bahamas, Jupiter, Florida, Las Vegas, Martha's Vineyard, Montauk, Malibu.
Hell
So
yeah.
all places you've gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's kind of like that too. Well, I have a couple that aren't, but where you go and then
And most
Okay.
recent, we were in Malibu, so that was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah.
sense.
I have New York where we are. I have Boston. I have Berea, Ohio, University Heights, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville, Florida. I've never been there. Athens, Ohio, Rockland, Massachusetts, Amherst, Massachusetts, Plymouth, Massachusetts, Medina, Ohio, Aruba, and Miami.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys
Spending
both have
a lot of time in Ohio.
I know.
yeah, a lot of Ohio. It's
lot
funny
of
you guys
Ohio
have so much Miami both. I have New York, obviously, Flemington, my hometown, Manahawkin, my grandparents lived there, San Francisco, Boston, Los Angeles, Hyannis, Sonoma, Baghdad, which I have only because someone told me that it never rains there. So I look.
You keep track.
I do. I really do. And every once in a while, it will be raining, and I'll tweet about it, be like, oh my God, it's raining in Baghdad. And every single time, Connor Crehan will go, yeah, if you only knew, blah, 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 because he was there, because he's a troop. So that is happening with Baghdad. And then, let's see, I have High Point, Key West, Dubai, which is also just interesting. It's like 104 degrees there right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Tokyo, Kyoto, Austin, Texas, Antarctica, negative 42 degrees.
What's Tokyo?
Tokyo right now is 68 degrees. It's middle of the night though. I have Wilmington and then Carmel, which I was in recently.
What do you guys think is
California.
the perfect weather?
Great question. That was on my list too.
I think the perfect weather is 75 degrees.
I was going to say
and
low
sunny.
70s and sunny.
Yeah.
With a nice breeze.
I like a 70, a high 70s to be honest. Like I like a high 70s, low humidity because I like the sunshine a lot. I don't get hot so quickly unless there's humidity. I also don't like that temperature in New York City. New York City, I choose like between 70 and 75.
Yeah. I like it also to be still warm at night.
Yeah.
Like you can go to the beach
Yeah.
and maybe you throw on a sweatshirt and you're comfortable,
Yes.
but you have shorts on and you're not freezing.
Yeah.
Like you're not
like 70 at night on the beach.
right.
Yes,
That's
I
perfect.
love that. Yeah,
That's
I wish it
perfect.
could stay the same temperature. Like I know that it gets a little hot in the middle of the day, but whatever the temperature is when it's like kind of climbing and it's like right now, I bet it's perfect because it's what to 11 a.m. I bet it's great. I bet in 2 hours it'll be unbearable. Whatever the temperature is now, I would like to stay the whole day, also at night through the
Yeah.
night. I think it'd be really nice. What is your perfect? What's your perfect Sunday day? Like a Sunday weather day.
I hate Sundays.
I honestly, if I have a good weekend and I go out Friday, go out Saturday, I love a rainy Sunday, sit in, just like, because when it's raining, you feel like you're not obligated to go do something. You don't have any FOMO.
Absolutely.
You're like, I can relax and do nothing because it's raining out.
Absolutely.
Hard agree because I
Yeah.
hate Sundays
Yeah.
because I feel when it's sunny and warm on Sundays, I feel obligated to do
Gotta go do
something,
something,
but I don't
yeah.
want to because it's Sunday and Sundays make me depressed. They really do. And in every season,
was
I
gonna
hate
say-
Sundays.
I was just
It's
gonna
my
ask.
least favorite day of the week.
Yeah.
Do either of you have seasonal depression? I do. Hard.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
hardcore.
Big time.
Hard,
Yeah.
especially here. It's like
Yeah.
depressing in the winter.
It's really,
Really
bad.
bad.
In high school, my mom used to, my seasonal depression would be, and also, you know, we would call it seasonal depression, but I wouldn't actually like do anything about it. I'd just be like, oh, I'm sad when it rains or
Yeah.
oh, I'm sad when it's cloudy, like whatever. She would get me tanning memberships and I would go and like do tanning because it was like UV light. And then she eventually got me one of those lights. Like, have you ever seen those like
Yeah,
light
like a
boxes or
light
whatever?
therapy,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The light therapy, it's actually kind of nice. I would sometimes put it on to do my makeup and it would be like the same thing, but sometimes it's a little bright on my
Yeah.
eyes.
yeah.
I think next winter I'm gonna visit Florida a lot more, like on
think
the
why not?
weekends, just
Yeah.
because I feel like
Boost the mood.
yeah, just
Gotta
to
do
boost
it.
the mood, just to get that UV in because it
Absolutely.
really changes everything.
It does. You need
Absolutely.
that vitamin D, man.
You have to. You got to get that vitamin D.
Do you guys like living somewhere with seasons, or do you think you could live somewhere with no seasons and just be warm all the time?
I like somewhere with seasons.
do
I
too.
wish the seasons were like I wish the winter was
winter is so
shorter.
long,
yeah, I wish winter was shorter, but I really like fall until it gets too late in the fall where it's too cold. Like I like probably till mid-October.
Yeah.
I like it. Like September, October, halfway. I like it a lot. Once it starts getting a little too cold, I am pissed and I am not happy again until spring.
I wish we could reverse it. I wish summer could be as long as winter, and then like winter is
Yeah.
just a couple months.
I agree with
would
that.
be
Yeah.
nice.
I say that I would live in a place that is just warm all the time, but I don't know because I've never lived in that type of place.
I don't think you would appreciate it anymore. It's like,
I
the
totally
warm
agree.
weather.
Right.
It's hot every day. I'm sticky.
Oh, I'm so sticky.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to sit inside.
Yeah.
It's nice out. You're
Yeah.
right. You do appreciate the warm weather months a lot
Yeah,
more.
like we
Completely.
appreciate summer.
Yeah,
hardcore.
hard. Now we go hard in
It's
the summer.
yeah.
It's-
Like summer's not even cool in Florida. It's actually miserable.
Right.
Yeah, it's too hot.
People
down
in
there.
Florida are leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come up here.
Yeah.
They come to their vineyard houses and such.
Right, exactly.
I living in a place that doesn't have seasons. I feel like I wouldn't if it was warm all the time, like LA specifically. I wouldn't get anything done. Like I would be outside.
LA is
the
not
whole
even
time.
warm all the time, though. That is the
True, that
biggest
is true.
lie that I've ever heard and grew up thinking because we were just there and it was cold.
Really?
It was
It was
cold.
cold when I went too.
It was
Really?
cold.
How cold? Like what
It
temperature?
was colder than here.
It
What the
doesn't
fuck?
get that hot. Like
It was like 50,
Until
60.
maybe, like,
I've
It
only
gets
ever been
to
there in
40
July.
somewhere, right?
Yeah, I've only
it
ever
was
been
like
there like
50s, 60s. I was
What
like, are you
the hell?
it was
joking?
colder there than here.
It was low
Yeah.
50s when I went.
We looked at the weather. We were like, what the fuck
and also
is going
apparently
on?
like just in this month or like these couple months, it like literally every day was cloudy, and then once it hit 1 p.m. it would like the sun would come out. So it was
Yeah.
like cloudy
Weird.
all day, and then
And
Yeah,
then
the
the
weather
sun would
kinda
come out
sucks.
later on.
Wow.
But then once the sun came out, it was like kind of cold because by the time the sun's
That's
come
so
out, it's like
annoying.
later in the day.
It's iffy.
Damn.
It's like you can't bank on the weather. It changes every day there.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's so dumb. Well, I guess maybe not LA, but someplace where it is like definitely warm every single day,
Yeah.
like
Florida.
Florida or like Aruba, or
Arizona?
Arizona, something like that. Oh, Arizona, I hate. But I feel like
Why do you hate Arizona?
I just don't. I feel like
Have you been?
no, I haven't been there.
So you can't hate Arizona.
Here's-
It's the
here's
same
the
thing with the
deal.
weed talk.
Yeah, true.
That's fair. That's a very fair argument. I will say though, everything that I have learned about Arizona, I don't like.
People love Arizona. They rave about it.
They like it. The only reason I would go there is to go. I hear they have great spas. I would go to a spa in Arizona.
Scottsdale, I heard, is
Scottsdale.
I just couldn't deal with
is,
the
Scottsdale has turned into like nothing but bachelorette parties. Like it's ruined. I bet Arizona
what do you
was
mean
great.
it's ruined,
like
though? I bet
15
it's
years
a lot
ago.
of fun.
Arizona. When I hear Arizona, all I hear is bachelorette party. It sounds like trash to me.
You know what? I
Bachelor
think
party
it's a
and
good
golf.
time.
That's all I ever.
I
think
think
about.
it sounds like a good time.
Nothing that
for
interests
the people
me.
from Arizona. I want to let you know
Spas.
I want to come to Arizona.
I want to go
can
because
go.
I want to see.
Yeah.
I've never
You
been.
guys can go.
I just
You
don't
can
think I'd
invite
like the
me if
heat.
there's a spa.
We're not
involved.
inviting you. You said you hate Arizona.
I said only for spas. I will go for spas.
I'm not
only.
going to Arizona for a spa.
Well, that's what they rave about: spas, golf, and bachelorette parties. So it's like if they can't do spas, then what can they do? That's how I feel
Fun.
about Arizona.
Yeah.
But they have a dry heat too. That's what I'm saying. Like they have a different kind of heat. Arizona probably not the best example. Florida probably a better example. I don't think I would get anything done because I want to be outside in the sunshine all day long. That's what I'm getting at.
And beaches.
You know what I mean? Like I'd rather be on the beach. I would slack off all the time. Be like, I'm just gonna go to the beach or
Whenever there's palm trees, I'm just like, this is vacation.
Yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
As soon as a palm tree.
I
I
wouldn't
see
be
a palm
able
tree,
to-
I
I wouldn't
do
be able to
not need to
separate
work.
the two. I would
Yeah.
never be able to separate the two. So
And then you appreciate vacation more. So
completely. What do you guys think about fog? Like a rolling fog.
doesn't make any sense to me.
Me neither.
It's really creepy. It's cool. though.
Sadness
Sadness.
I think of
when it's foggy.
murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ominous.
Yeah.
always.
Right. There's something creepy
there's a
going
scary
on.
man.
like
Yeah.
something's afoot.
Someone's
you know?
dead over there.
You know what I
Yeah.
think is so
In the
cool?
river down the street.
Yep.
Whenever you see
Mayor of Acetown.
yeah, Mayor of Easttown. Wow, great show. Also, great show. You
For,
should
okay,
watch it.
first episode sucked so bad that
Yes.
I didn't even want. Me and Grace almost didn't give it a chance. First episode was so brutally bad. It was honestly
It was just so,
so
much
fucking
setup.
horrible.
Like they had to, yeah, and the accents were. I got used to the
so
accents.
bad. I was like, this is the worst show I've ever seen.
Well,
first
that's
episode
your
I didn't think was
opinion.
good.
no, I've talked to
thought-
many people, and they were like, I almost didn't watch it.
What?
First
It
show
was
was
just a
so
lot of-
uninteresting.
It was like a setup episode. It was like they had to do all
I
the
guess
characters.
by the end of
and
the
it was tough.
episode, I was hooked though. I thought the end it was good.
I was just like, oh well, now I have to see what happened.
Yeah. I love the show. It's a great show.
Great show,
Um,
yeah. First episode, trash.
I always think, I think ominous, whatever. You know what is such a cool thing to see whenever you're at a place where, like maybe a lake, I'm picturing a lake specifically, and there's mountains around, and you can see the fog like starting to lift, and the lake is clear, and the houses you can see, but the fog is like right above the houses, so it almost looks like clouds are like literally in your face, like you're as tall as the
Picturing New
clouds.
Hampshire, yeah.
Yeah, and that I think is like the coolest thing. It's technically clouds, I guess, but it's fog also. You know?
Yeah. One time I
Clouds would
went,
freak me out.
me and my dad, we went hiking, or not hiking, you know, like the gondolas that you can take up to like the top of the mountains.
Gondolas?
Yeah. We took those up to like the peak of a mountain in New Hampshire. And
So cool.
it was so scary because like then you get off and you walk on the mountain and you're in the clouds and it's like you don't you can't like step without holding on to something because you don't know if you're gonna climb off of a mountain.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's cool. I like mountains.
Clouds freak me the fuck out. That's another thing.
Yeah, every time I'm in a plane and I look out at the clouds, I picture myself being able to jump around on them, like that strawberry shortcake game that I used to have on my Nintendo DS, and she used to jump on the clouds. Now every time I look out, I'm like, oh, I could jump on the clouds, but you just fall right there and die.
I know.
There's no way
Wouldn't
you
it be cool if you could though?
That'd be amazing.
Don't you want to imagine you could lay in a cloud?
Yeah,
I would love
it seems so cuddly.
Yeah,
I would love to imagine that. Clouds was another segment in science class that I kind of paid attention to weirdly. What is it? Cumulonimbus clouds, cirrus clouds. There's like 3 kinds of clouds or something, and they all look a little different and a little weird. So whenever I see clouds, I always think to myself, I wonder if those are cumulonimbus, and sometimes I'll look them up, and it makes me feel smart.
Gotta love clouds. Gotta love weather, man.
Gotta love weather.
Gotta love weather.
Gotta love
Puts a little
weather.
spice in the day. Every day can't be the same.
A little spice in the day. I also want to wrap it up and give a little shout out to meteorologists who I feel get a lot of shit because we all talk shit about the weatherman when the weather isn't what it said it was going to be. We don't give him credit for when it's right, which is most of the time.
Yeah.
Only every once in a while are they wrong.
That's true.
They're right almost always.
It's a harder job than we think. Where would we be without them? We wouldn't know what to wear every day. We wouldn't know to bring an umbrella. We wouldn't know if our vacation should be planned that week.
Exactly. Do you think that meteorologists, I'm thinking about this now, still exist because computers exist? So maybe like a computer tests the air and can predict
Meteorologists still exist.
They still exist,
yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Because they probably have to study the
yes.
data.
Somebody's got to relay the data.
Okay.
But I'm sure it's a lot easier now, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
We'll have to be. Yeah.
Well, shout out to them.
Man.
I appreciate them.
Yeah, shout out meteorologists. You guys fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen the fuck up, everybody.
Listen.
And listen to me clearly. Do
Open
you
your
want to
ears.
protect yourself?
Fuck yeah.
Hell
Do you
yeah.
want to protect yourself?
100% of
Do
the
you want to
time.
protect your friends?
Yeah.
Do you want to protect your family?
Of course I do.
Then you guys need TASER.
You need
a TASER strike light in your life to make sure that you are protected, your family's protected, your friends are protected at all times. And there is nothing better than safe self-defense.
Yeah,
Right? You want to
yeah.
defend yourself.
You know what
but
you're holding.
TASER believes in safe self-defense, and you can get that with the TASER strike light. It's rechargeable, high-powered flashlight that can repel an attacker through its electric stun feature. So it's literally a stun gun mixed with a flashlight. You can carry it around in your bag. Bree, I know you stay locked.
I sleep with it next to my pillow.
You sleep with it next to your pillow.
You were
You're ready
sleeping
to go.
on it last weekend.
Yeah.
It was under your pillow, actually.
And I felt extremely safe.
Yeah, you
I
did.
felt like if
course you
anything
did.
were to happen, I had my TASER strike light
Exactly.
under the pillow, and I was ready to go. Thanks to Bree for having that
I got you. I stay strapped.
locked at all
the ready.
times. Stay strapped.
Stay strapped with my taser.
If you want to get yourself a TASER strike light to make sure that you are ready to defend yourself, whoever you're with at all times, you can go to taser.com. That is TASER, and use our promo code because it's available in most states without a permit, and you can save 15% off now, like I said, at taser.com using promo code because. So go to taser, TASER.com, use that promo code. I can't even talk. Use that promo code because, and you will get 15% off. Restrictions apply. You could see the site for details.
All right, girls, let us get into the voicemails. Thank you, as always, everybody, for calling in. Noah, let's start off with Too Old for Weed.
Kelly's voice just surprised me and made me laugh a lot. But hey, everyone, this is Eliza calling from Boston. Shout out, Bree. I'm calling to talk about the topic of weed, of course. I love weed. I smoke it basically at least once a day, every day for the past 6 or 8 years now. And I just can't imagine my life without it. It helps me so much. I have stomach issues it helps with. It helps with sleeping, anxiety, you name it. So I wanted to ask, when do you all think you will stop smoking weed? At what age? Sometimes I'm just curious, am I going to be 75 and still ripping a joint? I often also think about if I ever get pregnant and how I'm not going to be able to smoke during those 9 months and how that's going to suck because I feel like that's when I need it the most. Also, are you guys ever worried about any long-term health impacts that weed has? Because if you aren't, then neither am I. So love the pod. Thanks so much for listening and let me know what you guys think. Bye.
Sometimes I get worried that weed affects my memory and that long term I won't be able to remember anything, but that's the only thing I ever get worried about.
I worry about that too.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
I just don't know if my memory's already bad or if it's smoking.
Yeah.
I'll never stop.
Yeah, I
You're
don't.
going to smoke when you're pregnant?
That's the only time I would stop.
Yeah.
I'll put that out there. If I'm
Yeah.
pregnant, I will obviously stop smoking.
I feel
But
like
other
once
than
you
that,
become
no.
a parent, you want to smoke more because you need it more.
Right.
Stressed.
I feel like that too. I wonder if I would ever run into, or any of us would ever run into, like other issues that make us not able to smoke weed, like lung issues or something. Like
I wonder that
if I
too.
got, I get like a lung problem or really bad asthma or something like that, that would make it stop. I think that would be the
Edibles.
only thing that would, I think that would be the only thing that would
Edibles
stop
hit
me.
different though.
I'd
Yeah.
find a way.
Yeah, fine.
The girl who called in about asthma, she said the thing about edibles. She's like, I just don't want to. She's like, I'm a teacher. I don't want to be on edibles all the time because
Yeah.
edibles are different than like a quick like bowl
Yeah.
hit. So
And they last so much longer.
yeah, it's like a whole commitment.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play Winter in the Morning.
Hey, what up? I'm calling from the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, over here in California, and I'm calling in for the topic of weather. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Bay Area, our weather is all over the fucking place. Like, it's fucking winter in the morning, summer in the afternoon, and then fucking winter again at night, and like, nobody really knows what the actual weather is. Like, you don't fucking pay attention to the weather app because that shit is inaccurate as fuck. Like, a couple days ago, there was a fucking hailstorm, and like, 2 hours after the fucking hailstorm, it was 72 degrees, and I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, that's my little rant. Bay Area weather is fucking dumb. NorCal weather, yeah, stupid as shit. But am I gonna leave? No, I fucking love the Bay Area because everywhere else is dumb. Okay, bye guys. I love you so much. But
That would be annoying.
That would be so annoying. I feel like sometimes we deal with that here. Not as bad though. I know that the Bay Area is like notoriously. Jesus, God bless you, Noah. Like
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
every
I
sneeze,
the
can't
mic.
stop
you
sneezing.
got something going on. Yeah,
It's too loud to mute.
Jesus.
it really is loud as
It's
fuck.
just like sneezes so randomly, but bless you.
I mean, that's
I can't
usually
wait.
how it goes.
Your eyes are like
I'm not
swelling
like,
up.
hey, I'm gonna sneeze in 30 seconds.
Remind
I know,
me the
but-
minute we end this to give you a Claritin because I feel like
you
it'll
need
help
some,
you.
you need some of that. Yeah, I just feel like figuring out your outfits in the morning would be a disaster.
Yeah.
You're cold, you put on
Yeah,
a
you
sweater,
always
you
have to
gotta
have a
take it
jacket.
off. Whole big thing.
I hate having to bring layers everywhere too. I
Hate
hate
it.
that
I hate
shit.
carrying a jacket.
Carrying
Hate
a
it.
jacket is
Oh.
terrible.
Hate it.
It's
Hate
the
it.
worst.
The worst. All right, let's wrap it up with Assuming Witches.
Hey guys, love the pod. I'm also from New York, so what's up, representing. I'm calling in about witches, and I just thought it was really funny because this kid DM'd me after I posted something about God, and he said, wait, I didn't know you believed in God. I thought you were a witch. And I was like, what? I thought he was kidding. And turns out that he actually thought I was a witch based on the things that I posted from my horoscope and my astrology. And I mean, obviously that's not the case. So I just thought that was really funny, and he thought I was a witch. So I guess just wondering if you guys had any thoughts about someone being a witch, because that was definitely a first for me. But that's about it. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Check. See you later.
Some guys are so stupid. I also feel like I've never thought somebody was a witch.
That's what I was going
I've
to say.
never
Yeah.
met somebody or come
been
across
like,
somebody and been like, yeah, they're a
witch.
witch.
Yeah.
No.
I think that guys are probably getting confused now, though, because like we said before, witches are kind of popular right now.
Yeah.
So and I think that a lot of guys think astrology and stuff like that is like witchy, like, oh, witches only do that shit. It's like, no, basic witches like astrology.
But does that have to do with witches?
Not
Astrology?
really. It has to do with the stars.
Yeah.
No, it really
Okay.
doesn't have anything to do with anything.
So I
it's
thought.
just it's its own thing.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Imagine someone DMing you being serious and say, I thought
Oh,
you
I
were
would
a
love
witch.
It's
I would just
crazy.
go with it. I'd be like, yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, fucking stay away, man.
Yeah,
Stay on my
damn.
good side.
Definitely
your
would
back.
be a hilarious DM to receive.
Yeah,
it's funny.
absolutely. I would love that. But shout out to that guy for being fooled and thinking she was a witch. Thank you, as always, for everybody calling in. If you guys want to call in yourselves, it is 551-258-3436.
Toto, now I know we're not in Kansas.
Oh, sorry, start over. I'm Glinda.
Yeah.
Toto, now I know we're not in Kansas.
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Who? Me? Well, I'm not a witch at all. I'm Dorothy Gale from Kansas.
Oh, well, is that the witch?
Toto? Toto's my dog.
Oh, I'm a little muddled. The Munchkins called me because a new witch has dropped a house on the Wicked Witch of the East. And there's the house, and there you are. And that's all that's left of the Wicked Witch of the East. And so what the Munchkins want to know is, are you a good witch or a bad witch?
But I've already told you, I'm not a witch at all. Witches are old and ugly.
The Munchkins are laughing because I am a witch, the Witch of the North.
I thought you said she was dead.
That was my other sister, the Wicked Witch of the East. This is the Wicked Witch of the West. She's worse than the other one was.
Who killed my sister? Who killed the Witch of the East? Was it you?
No, it was an accident. I didn't mean to kill anybody.
Well, my little pretty, I can cause accidents too.
Are you forgetting the ruby slippers?
The slippers, yes, the slippers. They're gone! The ruby slippers! What have you done with them? Give them back to me or I'll...
It's too late! They're there, they'll stay.
Oh my!
Give me back my slippers. I'm the only one who knows how to use them. They're no use to you. Give them back to me. Give them back!
Keep tight inside of them. Their magic must be very powerful, or she wouldn't want them so badly.
You stay out of this, Glinda, or I'll fix you as well.
Or rubbish! You have no power here! Be gone! Before somebody drops a house on you, too!
Very well. I'll bide my time. And as for you, my fine lady, it's true. I can't tend to you here and now as I'd like, but just try to stay out of my way. Just try. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
That's good.
That was terrifying and
Yeah.
good at the same
Get
time.
you,
you
my
definitely get that
pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
good.
really good.
My mom's gonna be so happy that we did that.
Yeah, that was good.
She loves the wick, though.
You
Wizard
were
of
like a
Oz.
Boston witch.
No,
Oh,
I
I
was
was
talking like
No, she talks it. Glinda talks it. Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Like the Boston accent is coming out a little bit.
Yeah, that's how she talks.
We're having a